Hi, my name is Ariel Walden. I program the InDesign add-ons for idextras.com. In this video, I want to introduce you to a powerful, newly updated InDesign add-on called vJustify. vJustify is a pro-level add-on for InDesign. It runs on both Windows and Mac computers. To get hold of a copy, go to id-extras.com and there's a link in the notes below. So let's jump right in. Here in InDesign, once you've installed vJustify, you should find it in InDesign's Scripts panel, Windows Utilities Scripts, and locate this script down here and double-click it to run. So in this video, I'm not going to go into too much detail about how to actually use the script and all the settings and everything, because I want to focus on what it does. What can you do with vJustify that you can't do without it? So the point of vJustify is to vertically justify text frames, to balance the frame so that the text reaches right to the very bottom of the frame. On this page, for instance, the text doesn't quite reach the bottom margin down here. And how do we fix this? Well, we know that InDesign has its own built-in vertical justification function, but it's primitive. To justify a frame, it simply adds equal space between all the lines on the page. You can also set it to only add space between the paragraphs, but both these options are bad and are considered poor typesetting, because the correct way to fix this problem is to change the space. That's true, to change the space, but not between all paragraphs. For example, you never want to add space between body text paragraphs, but the space around block quotes and around subheadings can be changed a little. You can change the space here. You can change the space here. You don't change the space between these paragraphs. And this is where InDesign, where vJustify comes in. vJustify comes along and lets you specify a minimum and a maximum value for the space before and for the space after for each paragraph style separately. So for instance, the space before and after this block quote here is 7 points. That's what's defined in the style. But with vJustify, what we've done is we've given it a bigger range. We've given it a range all the way from 2 points to as much as 20 points. Now, these numbers can be set differently for each paragraph style. For instance, the subhead can now range between 10 points and 22 points. And these values are values that we can change. vJustify uses this flexibility here to create a balanced page that is vertically justified. And let's see what that looks like. So I can select this frame, and then I click on the Justify button, and we have a beautifully balanced text frame that reaches all the way to the bottom margin. I'll click on Reset and do it again so we can have another look. Justify, and it adds space between all the paragraphs on the page according to the values that we've given it here, that we've allowed it to use. Note that there's no extra space between body text paragraphs, but the needed extra space has been shared equally and proportionally between the two block quotes and the subhead. So this block quote, for instance, now has almost 10 points of space above and before, whereas according to the style definition, it's only 7. Now, what's happened here is it's added space between all the paragraphs, but in fact, we might prefer to reduce the space, just enough to allow another line to squeeze onto this page. Let me click on Reset here. And you can easily do this with vJustify. So I've reset the values to their originals by clicking the Reset button here. And now I'm going to select from the Justification Style menu, Tighten Only. And now when we click on Justify, vJustify makes just the right small adjustments needed to add another line onto the page. It would be very difficult to do this by hand and get it just right. I'll reset that. These are the default values. And when you click on Justify again, it squeezes in another line, uses the minimum change to perfectly squeeze in that line. You can also tell vJustify to choose automatically whether to add or remove space, depending on what's most efficient. For that, just choose minimum change from the drop down here, and then click on Reset and Justify, and it will see what's causes the least change, whether to add space or to squeeze in another line. In this case, squeezing in a line is the smallest change. So that's it. As promised, this video is just an introduction to the basic idea of vJustify. It has several more features to make working with it really easy and convenient. If you enjoyed the video, please click on the thumbs up button, and if you'd be interested in seeing more content of this sort, please click the subscribe button to subscribe. That's it for now. Thanks very much for watching. All the best. Bye bye.